And just something to look forward to in the next electoral cycle. I know traditionally nonpartisan elections don't get a high turnout, but as it seems though there's a strong motivation these days. So I know during the regular part of the business day you probably get in and out, but for people who just get off of work around 5 o'clock or so, it's basically a 45 to an hour wait sometimes. So just something to look into. I would appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have questions? Next item is new business, budget and finance, trustee Maher, consideration of purchase. I understand this is being deferred, but I'll let you say it.
Yeah, the committees, I thought we were almost there, but we've still got more work to do. And hopefully we have one more meeting. We can bring it at the next meeting, but we're still working on it.
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple questions about it, just for, as you finish up your discussion.
Do you want us to recap the committee?
No, but I just thought if we could get some input now, that maybe that could be something to talk about next week and bring it to the final. One thing I'm concerned about is for contracted services, professional service agreements, if it's over $10,000, there needs to be a written RFQ or RFP, but sometimes there are extensions or, service, additional amounts added on to a service. So I think the policy needs to address where the original contract is under $10,000, but subsequent amendments to that contract go over $10,000, and when the RFP or RFQ would come into play. The second that I'm pretty concerned about also is the sole source requirements, and I just had that up and I can find it, but there is a pretty broad ability to sole source contracts, and I would say at a minimum, if a contract is sole source, that the village manager needs to come to the next meeting and report on that, and that there need to be more defined situations where sole source is allowable.
Yeah, we had discussed that, and we'll discuss
Those
this
were my
next.
concerns that I wanted to express, even though they haven't been discussed.
And again, another comment that does need to be addressed this evening, but it wasn't clear, at least on my initial read, under what circumstances and when is full board approval needed. Either for a purchase or for a contract. Right? It seems like sometimes we approve an award and a contract. Sometimes it's accommodations and stuff. I look forward to working on it or seeing it next time. Okay.
No, the only thing that we discussed a few things, but the sole sourcing was my concern that was voiced, and we had some discussion on it, was it's not clear when that's applicable. It talks about if it's proprietary, if it's there's two words in there, and I just wanted some more clear definition. Is it that it's the only one in the local area that's available? Is it the only one in the region that's available? Like, what are the parameters that make it okay to go with one bid and not go out for bid for contracts over 10,000?
Okay.
And we did add one more requirement, which was we defined you need at least a minimum of 3 bids for certain contracts rather than multiple bids. So we just put one in there.
All right, so it's coming back to us
Yes.
through your committee before it comes to the full board. Next item, I think maybe this was taken care of already.
Well, can I do
Yeah, please do. It's Community Business Relations, Trustee Backhurst. Consideration and programs for parklets, outdoor cafes, and bike trails.
Okay, thank you. As was mentioned earlier, we deferred this item. Just so you know, we did have a great discussion and we're very close. We just wanted to make sure that we were able to discuss it with the full board with some of the changes that we recommended in committee. So, and just to remind everyone, this is a housekeeping item more than anything. We have a pilot programs for parklets and bike formalizing and making these more uniform with the outdoor cafes, parklets, and bike routes when it makes sense. And it was great, again, to have the business representatives attend and give some feedback, and that's something that we felt in committee would be really nice to have before the next meeting, would perhaps be some either report or some points from those that have participated in these pilot programs, bike rails and the parklets. I look forward to this discussion next time as well, because there are cities, and I know we are deferring this, but many places across the world that have parklets for actual public space for parks, not just for additional seating for businesses. So as we look at these programs going forward, we may also want to look at, as a community, how we can take advantage of, when it makes sense in our business community, providing additional public space in our on the streets. So hopefully we'll have some more individuals share some thoughts.
Can I add to that? In the Public Works Committee, we talked about bike lanes on Oakland Avenue also, and discussed that we'd like some input from the business district as to do they see it as a positive or negative, and maybe it'd be worthwhile to have a meeting where we invite, a board meeting where we invite, because now we have two issues of interest to talk to the business community about.
All of those would be.
And there was
Yeah.
a late email from our bid director to replace that.
I missed what you said, trustee Rosen.
Oh, they talked about two issues that were on the agenda tonight that affect small businesses and the business community in general. And one other one that's on the agenda would be the permitting of allowing additional venues to serve alcohol. And so how would that affect the existing businesses, and just having some input on that.
Sure. Okay. Move on to item 8C, Public Works, trustee Menta, first item is consideration of special privilege application for post-incident installation.
Residential property on Lake Drive. At some time ago, they received a special permit for 2 trailers that are in the public right of way. It's an unusual lot in that 2 lots were put together, and the right of way is only 3.5 feet from the sidewalk along the majority, but where the park was added later, the right of way goes back 10 feet. There's existing bushes that are in the right of way now, and the fence that the owner would like to put in is behind the current bushes. I went and looked at the property, and it didn't seem like, it looks in context to have behind the bushes. It's not intruding on the sidewalk or in any way. And as our attorney pointed out, we would still have, if we needed to do some kind of utility work or any other reason that we had to get into the public way, we would still have the right to do that. The committee was fine, was in agreement that we should approve it, and so we're adding not only the fence, but the plantings, the bushes that you can see in the photograph that are also in the public. So I'll make a motion to approve the special privilege application for constructing a fence and keeping existing plantings within the public way as presented. We'll have the address at 4424 North Lake Drive with the condition that a certificate of liability insurance is provided to the village.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor of the motion stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Sticking with trustee Menta, consideration of refuse collection.
Well, we've had many long and interesting meetings talking about garbage and recycling collection. And just to summarize, we determined at prior meetings that the village DPW would stay as our garbage collection service. And then we had a variety of options for the recycling that would bid out a couple of times for both weekly and bi-weekly. But we did also decide that we would limit anything outside of the bins, both for refuse and for recycling. We decided at a prior meeting that we would go with carts. We would provide everyone with recycling carts, but that people would no longer be allowed to have, anything outside of the cart. All recycling had to be included in your cart. So,
Sorry. She's talking to me.
So Leanne and Mark put together a memo that based on the low bid, if we decide to stay with biweekly recycling, the low bid, it would be an additional $18,338, but we would have savings from, is that additional sale of additional recycling? Was there tonnage savings?
Right, we have some additional revenues from our recycling rebates expected for 24,000, so that kind of
It comes to a wash.
is a savings.
Right, so we could continue with our current service and basically without a budgetary impact. If we did want to go to weekly recycling, as opposed to bi-weekly, it would be an additional $66,000, but that bid includes, inclusive of the $41,000 in revenues that we would lose, so it's an additional cost. So the actual, if we decide to go with weekly, about $100,000, depending on how much we would get as a
Will be the budgetary impact.
Extra?
yes, with the additional
$100,000 a year?
$100,000 a year to do weekly recycling. So we had a discussion about that if we stay with bi-weekly, we're sort of there are definitely people who would use more recycling. So we're kind of restricting those people. Although Tom Coleman brought up a good point that we could have, in addition, they could have 2 carts if they wanted to, right? Although I don't know that many people have room for all those carts. So that's an option too. But I guess some of us had a concern about our sustainability plan and how we kind of been stuck at about 32% of our total waste stream at recycling. We have not really been making progress in improving that. And although there would be some, we probably would get a little bit of a bump because people who are now in bins would be going to the carts. So we probably would get a little bit of a bump, but we're talking about an initial 5-year term with a 5-year option, so we could be looking at the next 10 years. And so we didn't come to a conclusion, but it's a decision we have to make. But.
I'd just make one comment on hearing $100,000, that's 1% of levy, so that's significant.
I thought it was,
I've got a couple of comments and then I'm prepared to make a motion so that we can discuss. We didn't, as Trustee Mendez said, come out of committee with a recommendation. One of the things that we talked about is that to make the next level of gains from an environmental standpoint, from a sustainability standpoint, to make the next incremental leap, if you will, in environmental performance as a village, we really have to be affecting change in behavior. We've been, stuck might be too strong a word, but our percentage of, the percent of our total waste stream that is recycling has stayed relatively stable the last number of years. And granted, we don't have all the apartment buildings, et cetera. But we haven't, there hasn't been a natural growth in recycling that we might like. And so I feel strongly that if we do go to providing, carts, we do have the enhanced alley service, that we do go to weekly pickup of recycling. We are given the opportunity for all residents to recycle. When we couple that opportunity with education, with not only education, but education aimed at changing their behavior to recycle more, I think we'll see that increase. We've heard a number of times when people go from a bin to a cart, the volume, with the opportunity, their volume goes up. Additionally, when, as a motivator, part of the education and incentive for people to recycle more is cost. As we look into the future and as we can encourage people to recycle more and have less of their waste stream sent to landfills, our tipping fees won't increase as much and hopefully decrease. So that's not to say that we could create a curve where, or we could, how reasonable it is to get there, where the increase in going to weekly recycling is offset completely by the decrease in solid waste tipping fees. But when we think about